never done this before. Well, darling, can't you see what you done to me? And I ain't gonna hide the way I feel no more. So let's roll all night. We gonna roll until the morning light. Let's roll.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right. Well, thank you, Fergie. Welcome to the Bluegrass Cup Series, live on Ultimate Dirt TV. It's the Dirt Cup. for the Bluegrass Cup Series here at the dirt track at Bristol. And it's going to be a fun night. They're going to do a little different. They're going to have 25 lap heat races, 2 heat races. They'll set up the starting lineup for tonight's main event. And coming into tonight, it's Curtis Preston, your points leader. In second is Brandon Holder. GT Hawkins in third. Jonathan Atkins in fourth. Actually, he's tied in fourth with Alex Huffman. GT Hawkins has 1 win on the season. The other driver to get a win was Rocky Boyd III. And Keith Hackney and Mike Peters. The only 4 drivers out of the 4 races. So 4 different winners, BJ. Will we get a 5th winner here tonight?
You know, I don't know. I think it's going to be really, really tough. We saw last Monday, just 2 days ago, Keith Hackney out here in the Truck Series in dominating fashion. Had to start the feature at the back, found himself back up to the front, led the majority of the second stage of the race, and it ended up coming down to a fuel game. I think we're going to be looking right back towards Keith Hackney once again, as he is top of the charts here in practice. But another threat to Keith Hackney coming home with a race win is the driver, the number 1, Scott Fritz, another dirt guy out here in the field.
Well, and you can't leave out people like Alex Huffman. I mean, he's been on a roll. I mean, he's done good on dirt.
Absolutely, that is definitely true. Had a pretty decent run last season when we came here to Bristol Dirt. Tonight, here in practice, he sits 4th quick so far. We'll see just what he can pull off. For some reason, there we go. It would not let me go back to full speed.
As we got Roger Pierce with the Bluegrass Live Look-In. We also have Mikey Neal Jr. carrying the Ultimate Dirt TV Live Look-In, along with Scott Fritz, with internet allowing. How about that? We'll say that, because this week we've had some weird things happen. That's all right. We overcome one way or another. But we're here tonight. So, Roger Pierce in the 27 seemed to just made contact with that wall.
Hey, we've definitely seen some interesting things on production side the last 2 nights, that is for certain. Problems on one producer's end, we send it off to another producer to take over, and it bites us again. So keep your fingers crossed. Let's go run on a hope and prayer, and let's put it on show.
All right, that is practice. Right there, you see Keith Hackney on top of the charts in practice. Now going to qualifying. First on the track, car number 96. It's Mike Peters. Mike Peters in that 96 machine.
And if we could possibly get sent back over to full.
Oh no, we want to watch Mikey Neal the
Oh,
whole
okay.
time. Look at him. See?
All right. They just threw us the peace sign.
Yeah, so give me just a second. The mouse has to cooperate a little bit. There we go. Mike Peters from Houston, Texas, in the 96, putting down his first lap here at Bristol. They actually ran the bottom trying to throw that dirt up on the top shelf, create that berm. And look at John Kinder in that number 5 machine, goes quick time with a 19.43. John Kinder. Also the track, car number 3. From Epping, New Hampshire, it's Brandon Robertson. Brandon Robertson. Also track, car number 99. From Mocksville, North Carolina, it's Peyton Hubbard. Peyton Hubbard in that 99 machine. And look, Alex Huffman, he goes quick time with a 19.08. Jonathan Schwartz in second. David Farmer, Roger Pierce, John Kinder, your top 5. Now Curtis Preston goes to that 4th spot. Curtis Preston now Georgetown, Kentucky in that number 20 machine. Justin Winter's first lap from Henderson, Kentucky. Car number 7, 16th quick on the board, going for his second lap here. David Farmer moves up to third quick, so your top 5, Huffman, Swartz, Farmer, Preston, Holder. Out turn number 4, down to front straightaway. Let's see if he can improve Justin Winters. He does not. He will stay 18th. Next on the track, Carter 18 to DeWalt. From Pikeville, Kentucky, it's Dustin Renstidle. Still left to qualify. Travis Twitty, Keith Hackney, Scott Fritz, Brian Terry, James Silvers, GT Hawkins, Rocky Boyd III, Rod Morris Jr., Blake Hensley, TJ Hanley, Mo Abbott, Jason Bridges, and Ryan Patty. Right now, your top 5 looking like this. Alex Huffman in that 2 machine. Jonathan Swartz, David Farmer, Curtis Preston, Brendan Holder. On the dirt side, the longer they wait, the more the track dries out, with more cars on it qualifying. And that's probably what Keith Hackney and Scott Fritz is doing, is waiting for that track to get a little drier before they go out for their first time lap.
Yeah, here in the Bluegrass Series, they do allow them quite a bit of extra time in qualifying compared to what we normally see leagues run on the practice side, and that works to the favor of all of those drivers to sit back, relax, wait, give it time, allow it to dry out, allow the sun to dry out. You see how bright, sunny it is out there. That does play a factor. iRacing, it's honestly incredible, Steve. A lot of different things coming in. Rocky Boyd will time in at 16th quick. His first time around. We'll see what he can do on this. No, that was his second lap, I believe.
Well, next on the track, car number 1 from Leonardtown, it's Scott Fritz. Scott Fritz in the 1. He's a dirt track driver racing on the asphalt, making day for him. He slaps the wall there. That lap will not count, I believe. We'll see. It does not. So his second lap, he got to make it all it's worth and not touch that wall. One of the major concerns from the drivers, BJ, has been meatballs.
Yeah, that is for certain. Meanwhile, drivers like Alex Huffman continue to stay on the track and get a little extra practice in to go around and hit the pit roads to practice their entries and everything. Fritz will time in 4th quick go. Keith Hackney up to the top of the charts by just over a 10th over Alex Huffman, who now moves down to 2nd.
From Columbus, Ohio, and car number 14 is GT Hawkins. This lap, let's see what he times in. GT goes 10th quick for his first lap. So Hackney, Hoffman, Boyd, Swartz, and Fritz, your top 5 in qualifying right now. Oh, a little loose there. Off the turn. Let's see if he improves any. He does not. He'll stay 10th quick. Still left to qualify, Jason Bridges, Brian Terry, Blake Hensley, Rod Morris Jr., Travis Twitty, and TJ Hanley. Into number 16, Rocky Boyd III, currently 3rd in the speed charts here in qualifying. Making some extra laps there.
And, taking a look at GT Hawkins, mentioned that he did not improve his time a second time around. One thing about the dirt side here on iRacing is the cooler your tires, the faster the car's going to be more often than not. So when you first pull out there, you got the fresh tires, you've got all the grip that those tires are going to have on the dirt side. So your first lap, a lot of times, is going to be your money lap, whether you're in a cup car or whether you're in an actual dirt car. iRacing was kind enough to give us a dirt tire for the cup cars.
Well, you see these two drivers, Rocky Boyd and Ryan Patty, they're just making extra laps here after their qualifying run. And that's helping them a little bit. What it's doing is giving a little bit more practice on the racing surface when we go to heat race action. 25 laps of distance. Then we go into the main event where the stage break will be on lap number 50. All right, qualifying is over. Taking a look, Keith Hackney on top charts, Alex Huffman, Rocky Boyd, Jonathan Schwartz, and Scott Fritz. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 1 and on the pole. In the Cornerstone Motorsports car number 69, Keith Hackney. To his outside, Hills out of Florida. In car number 16, it's Rocky Boyd the third.
Inside row number 2, CFM Esports number 1. That's going to be Scott Fritz. Lined up to his outside, the number 20 from Cornerstone Motorsports, it's Curtis Preston.
Row number 3 from WJM Motorsports, car number 27, Roger Pierce. And to his outside, Detached House of Speed. Car number 30, Ryan Patty.
Row number 4 to the inside, Cornerstone Motorsports, number 17, James Silvers. To his outside, number 72, the high side Hustlers, it is Tony Iverson.
Row number 5 to the inside, and car number 49 is Chuck Blake. And to his outside, the Color Teal Racing. Car number 48, Mo Abbott.
Row number 6 to the inside, YNH Motorsports, number 3, Brandon Robertson. To his outside, in the 99 from Next Level Racing, it's Peyton Hubbard.
In row number 7, in car number 18 from JC Motorsports, Justin Ryan Siddle. To his outside, THR. Car number 80, TJ Handley.
Row number 8 to the inside, Weaponized Motorsports, number 88, Nick Mills. To his outside, from, I forget the team name, but it is the 13 of Brian Terry. And rounding out the field is the high side Hustlers, number 34, Jason Bridges. Is it Bluegrass? No, it's Syndicate. The Syndicate. Sorry, Brian. Forgive me. Team Syndicate.
All right. The lights will go out on the pace car. Barney, the iRacing flag, is going to show up 1 to go. Keith Hackney and Rocky Boyd III lead the field to the green. Scott Fritz and Curtis Preston, road number 2. Roger Pierce.
Like his wheel.
Yeah. We're right on board with Roger Pierce as we take off, go green flag racing. Into turn number 1, there's Keith Hackney riding at bottom of the 16, Rocky Boyd right ahead of him as they come out turn number 2. Look at him, we kind of feathering that pedal here in the Cup Series. A little bit different from actual dirt cars where, you don't have to change gears in a late model sprint car, but one lap around with Roger Pierce.
And more than likely, I expect these guys to be running probably in 4th gear out of 5. The new next-gen cars have 5 gears, but I expect to see these guys running it in 4th gear the majority of the race. But taking off now, they got it. Most of them are going to be starting in 2nd gear, trying not to spin their tires, trying to get that good jump on the start and working their way up to 4th gear. And that's where a lot of mistakes happen out here on the dirt for these Cup drivers. Looking a little further back, you got the 72 of Tony Iverson. He rides right now in that 9th spot.
Well,
Peyton Hubbard intense.
TJ Handley, he's just keeping it nice and clean in that 80 machine, currently running that 17th spot. There's Brian Terry in the 13 and Jason Bridges in the 34, currently, or running the 23 tonight in that 15th spot. But meanwhile, Keith Hackney's out front showing these Cup drivers what a dirt veteran does. 2nd place is still Rocky Boyd III with Scott Fritz in that 3rd spot. Roger Pierce in 4th in the 27. James Silvers in the 17. Right in the driver's meeting, the drivers were warned about wall riding tonight. And definition of wall riding, if you're watching at home, the Bluegrass considers wall riding when that right front taps that wall on the outside. You ride it all the way around, BJ.
Yeah, and I definitely have to agree with that call. I hear a lot of people, especially ones that don't know the dirt side very well, a lot of people call when the right rear gets up against the wall and starts scraping that wall and sending sparks off of it. A lot of people like to say that that's wall riding. Nah. Most of us anymore on the dirt side. We'll call that wall grinding. Stick your right rear up there, get it on the cushion. Your right rear fender's going to be on that wall. It's going to be grinding that wall when you're really digging in deep, sending it hard. As soon as that right front comes around, then you're wall riding. So Admin's keeping a very close eye on that Tony Iverson, battling side by side now with Peyton Hubbard on his inside. That is for that 9th spot.
Meanwhile, Keith Hackney continues to lead. Scott Fritz has gotten around Rocky Boyd the third. There's Rocky. You see the 13 of Brian Terry going on a lap down. Roger Pierce still in that 4th spot. Keith Hackney on a Sunday drive on a Wednesday night here at the dirt track of Bristol. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Elite Motorsports. On that car, the 69K, looking really pretty tonight, but look at this. The one of Scott Fritz is actually closing the gap, chasing him down. He has 15 more laps to get it done. He has plenty of time to get there. But Rocky Boyd, he started second and has fallen back 1 spot to third. So everybody in this first heat race will line up on the inside of the main event. So all the rows on the inside, 1st through 17th. And your second heat race will line up on the outside of the grid.
The gap back and forth right now between Keith Hackney and Scott Fritz. Scott Fritz's best friend right now would be a caution. It has once again started to grow between those two drivers. Fritz really going to have to get on the ball, find something that works, and stick to it. Not make any mistakes. You see it up there on the top of the screen. Right about 1.5 seconds right now, the gap between those two drivers. Fritz did have it down under a second at one point in time, but that gap quickly grew as both those drivers continue to pull away from Rocky Boyd. We'll look a little further back through the field. You see the 27 of Roger Pierce right there as he works to the inside of, not sure, I believe that was James Silvers.
James Silvers in the 17 machine. Look how much he's turned that wheel.
Yellow.
Counter steering. We got our first caution tonight. Chuck Blake bringing out that caution. And Tony Iverson take a look at your NLRA instant replay. There is Chuck Blake in that 49. He just loops it on the top there. Rolls down. And Tony Iverson collects them. And one thing's a little different, BJ, when you lock it up, this is the thing between asphalt and dirt. I mean, yes, you lock it up, you try to keep it where it is. But dirt, you're more prone to slide down regardless if you're locked up. Especially
Yes, you absolutely are. There's a lot less grip underneath those tires from Bristol. The banking's so insanely steep. It just continues to propel you down the track. But what really happened right here, where he initially lost it, you see he's still revved up there until he goes around. Now he's got it locked down, just trying to stay in place. What causes that a lot of times, you'll see it quite a bit here tonight, I think. Drivers get up that high side and they get loose. There's a slight bank change when they get right up there to the top. You see up there where that dark dirt is up there, that's the cushion. When the drivers get up there and they hit that, it changes the banking, it raises the banking some more. And these cars here have independent rear suspension, whereas the trucks that we saw on Monday night have a solid rear suspension. So when the right rear flexes up, the left rear will come down. Well, in these cars here, it takes a second for that left rear to drop once again. When it comes around, they lose grip off that left rear tire with that independent suspension. Pace car is off. Green flag is out for Keith Hackney. And he's got a charging Scott Fritz taking a look to his outside now as they head into one.
Oh, Nelly's Keith Hackney, he saves it. Now we're 3 wide for second. Out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Look at Roger Pierce and Rocky Boyd battling for second. They make a little contact out of turn number 4. Give it to Roger Pierce. Moving up to that second spot, but Scott Fritz is now your race leader. Keith Hackney going to have to work for it down there on the bottom, BJ. A little slicker through the turns on that bottom side.
Yeah, it's a lot more slick. The driver's got to get the car set in just right, and then they got to hang on to it. It's not only more slick, but it's also a little rougher down there. Ruts have started to set in, excuse me, at the bottom of the track, which makes it that much more difficult. You see right there where there's slick patches that run across as they come off the corner. There's patches of slick that run all the way across, and patches of that good-looking dirt. That's where the ruts are. You see him bouncing all over the place in that number 69 machine as he's giving it everything he has right now to regain those positions. But this is exactly what I was talking about. Scott Fritz needed that caution, and it has played not only in his favor, but Roger Pierce's and Rocky Boyd's.
The top three started to pull away from Keith Hackney. Hackney looked like he's having some grip problems there on that machine. There's the 17, James Silvers with their top five. There's Curtis Preston currently running in sixth. Seventh is the 99. Peyton Hubbard as Ryan Patty now looks to the inside of him. Off the bottom, Ryan Patty trying to get a run. Look out. 3 laps to go. Oh, Ryan Patty gets it kind of loose there on the bottom. Gets on the slick there. That allows Tony Iverson to go around him. And Brandon Robertson with 2 laps to go down the back straightaway. Your race leader is Scott Fritz, Rocky Boyd right there, and caution on the speedway.
We're now looking at a green-white checkered. Steve, take a look at the instant replay here. That is the 23.
And Jason Bridges just losing it there on the top shelf, getting it sideways. Drivers did a good job to get around him.
Again, looking like just like what we saw the last time, the last caution from... Yeah, forgive me, I've actually already gotten who that was. The last time being Chuck Blake.
Now you're sitting there, you're Scott Fritz. You know, he's probably going to choose the outside for the restart here. And that's going to put Roger Pierce on the bottom. But, you know, Scott Fritz might surprise me and choose that bottom side. But just got to think he will go where more moisture is up there on the top.
Well, just put us out there. I did not hear him make his choice, but I did hear him ask, which leads me to believe that he is going to take the outside. You see him pull up to the top right there. I believe that he's taking the outside.
And basically, the reason why you want to take the top side on the dirt is because that berm up there that's forming, you can bounce that right rear on it, get the car to turn.
Send you like a rocket ship down the straightaway.
And I'll take it back. It's Rocky Boyd that was second. So he starts on the inside of row number 1. And then you have Roger Pierce on the inside of row number 2 with Hackney on the outside. This is something Hackney wants to see. He's probably thankful it's going to happen. 3 laps to go. We'll come back to Greenby. 2 laps to go. Green, white, checkered. Of course, Scott Fritz in that one machine. Base cars in. We're coming to the Geico restart zone. Scott Fritz can fire at any time. Once he hits it, green flag is out. We're back to racing. Though, look at the run that Keith Hackney got and him versus the inside line into turn number 1. Hackney retakes the lead. Here comes Scott Fritz trying to battle back on the outside. Give it to Keith Hackney down the back straightaway. And Rocky Boyd now goes to the bottom. There's Roger Pierce. Scott Fritz right there. Oh, little Robbins banging some right side romance going on. White flag in air. 1 more to go for Keith Hackney.
A fantastic job for those guys to hold on to it right there. But Scott Fritz did not get the restart that he was looking for. Keith Hackney was right there and ready as they head into turns number 3 and 4. Now off of turn number 4. Give heat race number 1 to Keith Hackney. Scott Fritz coming home in second. Roger Pierce coming home in third. Rocky Boyd fourth. James Silvers in fifth.
Taking a look at your official results of heat race number 1. Showing up there is Keith Hackney, Scott Fritz, Roger Pierce, Rocky Boyd the third, James Silvers. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 2 at on the pole. In the car number 2, the Elite Motorsports is Alex Huffman. And to his outside, the Fast Lane Motorsports, car number 95, Jonathan Schwartz.
Run number 2 to the inside. Then the 84, it is David Farmer. Lineup 2 is outside the Syndicate number 9. Brandon Holder.
We're number 3 to the inside. The Cornerstone Motorsports. Car number 14, GT Hawkins to his outside. He hails out of Carolina. Car number 5, Jonathan Kinder.
Run number 4 to the inside. The Awesome Shops number 96, Mike Peters to his outside. Flex Motorsports, YNH Motorsports number 97, Alex Healy.
We're number 5 to the inside. High side hustler. Car number 28, Josh Clemens to his outside. The YNH Motorsports. Car number 15, Matt Grenier.
Run number 6 to the inside. World of Thunder Racing's number 46, Sean Kostritza. Line up to his outside from Team Syndicate. It's the number 8 of Mikey Neal Jr.
And row number 7 to the inside in Elite Motorsports. Car number 7, Justin Winters to his outside. High side hustler Motorsports. Car number 29, Travis Twitty.
Run number 8 to the inside, Weaponized Motorsports. Number 31, Blake Hensling. To his outside, Ron Morris Racing. WJM's number 76, Ron Morris Jr. Alex Huffman early tonight showing. Okay. All right, showing that he belongs, that he has some skills. He qualifies second here for heat race number 2. Green flag is now out. Alex Huffman fires off. Swartz right on his outside, but Huffman bringing David Farmer right along with him. Farmer's going to look to sneak around to his outside, trying to slide up in front of Swartz right there. Swartz does not leave him enough room. Swartz sticks to the high side.
Swartz in a 95 machine, trying to keep it nice and clean there as it come out turn number 4. GT Hawkins right there in the 14 machine, currently in that 5th spot. There's Mike Peters. He already has a win on the season in a 96 machine. Some good battling going on mid-pack as the track's starting to dry out a little bit. Alex Healy in the 97. He forgot his name earlier, had to paint his name on the side of the car so he knew who he was. GT Hawkins made a little mistake there off of turn number 4. He's going to lose some ground, falls back to the 8th spot. Mikey Dill Jr. in the 8 machine, currently in the 9th, and there's Shocker Stritzik running out your top 10. But meanwhile, in car number 2 is Alex Huffman. There's David Farmer, and Jonathan Swartz rounds out your top 3 with 22 laps to go.
A middle inside line really starting to go away for these drivers. More and more of them are migrating up against the top side, which is the dangerous place to be. We've already seen 2 of them in heat number 1, and caution flag waves here on heat race number 2.
Caution coming out. Let's see who for. There's Brandon Holder in the 9 machine. Oh, he taps the 96. 96 hard to wall Holder, and there's the 76 of Rod Morris Jr. going around. A lot of chaos going on here.
Luckily, it looks as though everybody got out of there with minimal damage on their rides.
Well, one thing with the dirt side, the top ticker does not work after heat race number 1. It will work in the main event tonight, but just how SDK is trying to... The NASCAR tickers just don't work on heat races 2 on back. So we'll use the side ticker with 20 to go. It shows Huffman, your race leader, Farmer, Swartz, Peters, Kinder, your top 5. Then you have Healy, Hawkins, Neal, Kostritza, and Grenier, your top 10 winners in that 11th spot. Clemens in 12th, 20 in 13th, Hensley, Morris, and Holder round out your field. The finishing order of this heat race will line up on the outside of the starting grid for tonight's main event. Now, the more cautions they have, the laps will wind down here in heat race action. Unlike the dirt side of things, caution laps do count in the heat races. The driver's been told to double them up, rack them, and stack them. We're going to let them loose out of turn number 4 with 18 laps to go. We'll go back to green flag racing. Alex Huffman in the 2 will choose the inside. And you got to wonder, is that something he watched from the previous heat race and realized maybe he should be on the bottom?
You know, it's definitely hard to say. The guy who came home with heat race number 1 win started outside the 2nd row. So he's got to find that grip. He's got to get lucky here. He's got to make a smart choice and a smooth choice. As he fires off David Farmer on his outside, not able to get there, smacked the wall in the front straightaway. Now he's under attack from Jonathan Swartz. That bottom line might be coming back in again. Here's we close in on the halfway mark of heat race number 2.
Saw the 84 get a little tight there going into the turn. And that allowed Swartz to take over that second spot momentarily. 17 laps to go. There is the 96 of Mike Peters. Has one win on the season. Trying to get that third spot. He's running to... Oh, we got one hard in the wall. Sean Kostritza. And it's a parking lot.
Ooh. Unfortunate turn of events for a number of drivers involved right there. You see Kostritza down on the inside.
Oh, Mikey Neal Jr. Gonna have to send him a bill after this race.
Whew.
Several cars involved. Blake Hensley, Travis Twitty was involved. Rod Morris Jr. And what happened? Mikey Neal just gets loose, comes down the track, clips the rear end of the 46, and around he goes. Alex up in your race leader, Swartz in second. Peters in third, Farmer in fourth. Action packed here at Bristol, where the action is the attraction. Thrills, spills, and unexpected violence. Here with the Bluegrass Cup Series here on a Wednesday night.
Oh, we're on dirt, I expect.
I expect the helmets to come off, the gloves to come off, the steering wheels. You grab whatever is available to come off, and you throw it at the person that takes you out.
If only we had the option to have some kind of animated thing for that here on iRacing.
Maybe when we can get Alex up, but if he wins tonight, maybe he can sing "Happy Birthday" to me in the post-race interviews. I tell you what, we'll make the top 3 sing "Happy Birthday" to me. That's the reward, finishing in top 3.
Oh, jeez.
That'd
be entertaining.
That would. Coming to the 13 to go when we take the green flag. Alex up and on loud pedal. We're back to racing. There it is. Oh, the 95 Swartz. They get a very good start there. That kind of held up David Farmer. But, you know, Mike Peters did not either. That 96 car on the inside. Peters gets around David Farmer for third as they come out of the turn, down the straightaway, a little loose, a little contact, and around, live goes around David Farmer.
And Peters down on the inside wall. I believe it's the second time we've seen him involved. Get sent down the track, finding that inside pit road wall.
You see him just get loose there.
Just a little bit comes down and catches the left or right rear of that 84. 96's left front wheel looks like it was locked up after that contact. That's going to end his heat race most likely.
Sean Kostritza already out of the race in the 46 machine. Alex Huffman, your race leader. Swartz, Kinder, your top 5. GT Hawkins now in that 4th spot. Then you got Brandon Holder in 5th. The more cautions we have, the less laps they will have to race it out. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to let them loose with 9 laps to go. Alex Huffman and Swartz will start on the front row. Hinder and Hawkins in row number 2. Hensley and Holder in row number 3. Pace car Zed builds in the hands of the number 2. Green flag. And look, a good start there for the 96 of Jonathan Swartz. He didn't allow Huffman to get too far out. Oh, Swartz a little loose there. Oh, they make contact. Swartz heavy in the wall. Comes down. There goes the 9. We got more cautious Brandon Holder and Jonathan Swartz involved in this one.
Yeah, Swartz got himself in a bad position there when he got loose. Just started collecting on his way back through. Around they both go.
Well, you know, Mikey Dill just sitting pretty, you know, or he's trying, you know. Pretty boy Neil up there in the 8 machine, currently in that 5th spot, up 7 spots. Look at him, right up against that wheel.
It almost looks like he's sitting in a closet.
Well, you know, he turns too hard, he's going to rub a boob off. Or you definitely don't want to get those knockers stuck in that wheel when you get it turned. That hurts.
he says, I got to turn it too far. That's why he's sitting on it, so he's got to reach all the way around it.
And looking at us. All right, we're fixing to go back to green flag racing with 6 laps to go when the green flag comes out. Alex Upman, your race leader. He brings the field to the Geico restart zone. He fires off. He puts the hammer down. Here we go into turn number 1. John Kinder in that 2nd spot. Look at Huffman right there on the bottom this time. As they exit turn number 2 down the back straightaway. GT Hawkins now looks to the inside of John Kinder. He will take that spot for 2nd. Mikey Dill Jr. now battling for that 4th spot. As he does get it now. Oh, Hawkins into the wall there. That's going to allow Mikey Dill to pull up alongside him. 4 laps to go. We got their caution on the racetrack. That's the 84 of David Farmer.
And as caution flew, Mikey Neal Jr. took over that 3rd spot. Interested to see if he'll be able to retain it. We'll see here just what happened on the NLRA instant replay. Oh, he gets in the back of the 97. What a run he had into the turn right there.
Well, you know, the only thing I can say, BJ, he hit a car with his name on it. You know, he hit Alex. Maybe he couldn't read the name and he wanted to get up close and personal there.
He's trying to get a closer look. Yeah, I agree with you. He's looking for a closer look. What was that name? It was moving too quick.
Yeah. David Farmer bringing out your 5th caution of the night.
And it does look as though Mikey Neal Jr. will retain that 3rd spot. So your top 5 now looks like this: Huffman, Kinder, Neal, Hawkins, and Healy. And you know one thing, Steve? It almost seems like a race for 2nd in this heat race. It has changed so much, so many things throughout this heat race has changed, except for the race leader. Alex Huffman led from the drop, the initial green flag, and he has stayed up there the entire time. And I'll be honest with you, that's not something I expected with some restarting on the inside like he is.
Definitely. You know, and I'm kind of starting to wonder now. I think Mikey Dill Jr. wants to sing to me in post-race interviews.
He's coming for it.
Yeah. I mean, look at him. He has a voice, he says, you know, and he wants it heard.
I got a voice, but I don't want it heard.
It's going to be a green, white checker. We'll go back to racing. Lights are out on pace car. Nick Litter driving the pace truck here tonight for the Cup Series as they takes about a turn number 2. The drivers are racked and stacked. Huffman and Kinder on your front row. Neal and Hawkins in row number 2. Ely and Grenier in row number 3. Pace car dives in. We're in the hands of Alex Huffman. Green flag is out. We're back to racing. Good start for Alex Huffman there. Kinder in that 2nd spot. GT Hawkins balanced side by side with Mikey Dill Jr. as they come out turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Mikey Dill with the edge over John Kinder as they go into turn number 3. Coming off of turn number 3, the white flags waving in the air. 1 more to go for Alex Huffman.
Yeah, Huffman did a fantastic job throughout this entire heat. Now he's just got his comes off turn 2, 2 turns remaining led it from flag to flag as Mikey Neal Jr. under pressure from GT Hawkins. Hawkins not going to be able to get there. Heat race number 2. Alex Huffman will come home with it. Mikey Neal Jr. is second. GT Hawkins, Alex Healy, John Kinder, and Jonathan Swartz getting together there at the stripe.
Real quick looking at your official results, Huffman, Neal, Hawkins, Healy, and Swartz. Here's your starting lineup for tonight's main event. Here we go. And on the pole, in the 69K Quarter-Star Motorsports car number 69 again is Keith Hackney. To his outside, Alex Huffman.
Row number 2 to the inside, CFM Esports number 1, it's Scott Fritz. To his outside, Team Syndicate number 8. We saw him come through the field. That's it, Mikey Neal Jr.
Row number 3 to the inside is Roger Pearson at 27 and GT Hawkins at a 14.
Row number 4 to the inside. In the 16, that is Rocky Boy to third. To his outside from Flex and YNH Motorsports, it's the 97, Alex Healy.
Row number 5 to the inside. Car number 17 is James Silverstone's outside. It's Jonathan Swartz at a 95.
Row number 60 inside Cornerstone Motorsports, number 20, Curtis Preston. Line up to his outside in the 5, it's John Kinder.
Row number 7 to the inside to 99, it's Peyton Hubbard. To his outside. And to 84, David Farmer.
Forgive me, had a cough there. Row number 8 to the inside, High Sign Hustlers, number 72, Tony Iverson. To his outside from Elite Motorsports, number 7, Justin Winters.
Row number 9 to the inside, in the car number 3 is Brandon Robertson. To his outside, the 15 of Matt Grenier.
Row number 10 to the inside, Detached House of Speed, number 30, Ryan Patty. And to his outside, Ron Morris Racing, also YJM, number 76, Ron Morris Jr.
Row number 11 to the inside, Dustin Rinstead on 18 and Josh Clemens into 28.
Row number 12 is going to be Nick Mills and Travis Twitty.
Row number 13 to be Chuck Blake into 49 and Blake Hensley into 31.
Row 14, Brian Terry and Brandon Holder.
Row number 15 be TJ Hanley, TJ Hanley and Mike Peters.
Row number 16 is going to be Mo Abbott and Sean Kostritson. Rounding out the field is going to be Jason Bridges.
This is your stars and cars of the Bluegrass Cup Series. 125 laps of distance. This is what you saved your lunch money for. It's an action-packed night with thrills, spills, and unexpected violence. Green flag is out. We're racing here at Bristol. Into turn number 1, see Keith Hackney take the early race lead. Oh, the 2 gets in the back of him with Hackney. Slide across that nose. No harm, no foul. They continue to go. As we head into turn number 3, there's the 2 of Alex Huff and Mikey Neal Jr. battling off the 1 of Scott Fritz and Rocky Boyd the 3rd. There is currently running in 5th. There's James Silvers in the 17 machine. Curtis Preston currently running in 7th. There's GT Hawkins in 8th. Peyton Hubbard and Alex Healy in 9th and 10th.
You're talking about James Silvers momentarily riding in that 6th spot. He had a fantastic night last night in the Xfinity Series, coming home with a podium. No, he missed the podium, didn't he? Yeah, he got the podium. I don't even remember now. But he had a fantastic night, ran up towards the front all night long, was not able to come home with the race win as we ride on board right now with the 01 of Scott Fritz.
Scott Fritz doing a good job in that number 1 machine. Go a little further back, currently running in 5th is Mikey Neal Jr. Look how far he's turned that wheel. Look how hard he's fighting that wheel a little bit. The track's a little bumpy there. Trying not to overcorrect the car. We got a battle for the race lead. Well, actually, I take that back. It's not a battle. It was the lap car, Blake Hensley. Keith Hackney was battling him.
Lap traffic coming into play extremely soon here, but caution flag is going to fly here on lap number 6. We'll take a look at the NLRA instant replay here. Looks like it's going to be the 27. That is not entirely sure.
Roger Pierce in the 27, bring it out to first caution. Lead lap car is closing in on a hurry on him, so the caution had to come out. Keith Hackney, Alex Huffman, Scott Fritz, Mikey Neal, and James Silvers. I mean, I'm not too sure Keith Hackney knows how to sing, but, you know, he's good at TikTok. So maybe, you know, he wants to sing to me for my birthday.
Well, we shall see.
There's Alex Huffman and Scott Fritz. Boy, that could be one hell of a band, those three drivers. Alex
No
Squeaky,
comment.
Alex Squeaky Huffman. There you go.
Can we call him that? Can we just call him Squeaky? I really want to call him Squeaky. I'm calling him Squeaky. Well, I can say one thing is for certain, Steve. Just a tidbit of information, giving some background insight for our spectators. Let's cross our fingers and hope that you don't need producer number 2 to take over, because producer number 2's iRacing just locked up.
Hackney, Huffman, Fritz, Neal, and Silver's your top 5. As we're on lap number 9, pacing around here at Dirt Track of Bristol for that caution coming out for Roger Pierce. Mike Peters in pit road there.
Be interested to see after the two different lines working and then not working on the restarts. I'll be interested to see which line Keith Hackney chooses here for this restart.
Here you see Roger Pierce's live look-in. He's carrying the Bluegrass Iracing Series live look-in that number 27 machine, taking a nice drink there. Look how much bigger his wheel is compared to Mikey Neal Jr.'s. There's Mikey's little wheel. A baby wheel.
And you know, I had the opportunity to talk to him about it once before. He had, because I always joke about him having a strange grip on the wheel, and he mentioned to me before that he's used to running with a bigger wheel, and now he's got the smaller wheel, and it was the only way he could find that was comfortable for him. And hey, sometimes you gotta do what's comfortable.
Well, it looks like Scott Fritz's wheel's smaller, so it looks like Roger Pierce has a big wheel, and the other two have little wheels. Keith Hackney going to choose the outside for the restart. 11 laps will be in the books, actually 12. When we go back to Green Flag Racing, Nick Litter, your pace truck driver, builds in the hands of the 69 of Keith Hackney. His truck is in. Barney gonna wave the green flag. We're back to racing here at Bristol on lap number 12. 11 laps in the books. Hackney goes to the bottom and turns 1. He'll slide up a tad bit. There's Alex up and down there. Battle from the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. He slaps the wall. That allows Fritz to the inside of Huffman. Huffman clears the 2. And here comes Fritz to the inside. A lot of good racing up front.
It ran 3 wide momentarily. Huffman now clears all of them. Huffman doing a fantastic job out here on the dirt side. I gotta say, I think Squeaky is finding himself a home here on the dirt as he rides comfortably in that second spot. Mikey Neal Jr., Scott Fritz continue to battle it out for that third spot. Mikey Neal Jr. pulls his way forward. His caution flag's going to wave again here on lap number 14.
The second caution of the main event coming out for a handful of drivers. Chuck Blake, Roger Pierce involved, TJ Hanley. Oh, Nelly, the 88, the 49. Oh, the 80 had nowhere to go. There's the 27. Let's see his partake in this wreck. He's right there on the inside. Oh, and the door just shuts on him. TJ Hanley in the 8.
And sounds the race control will rule that a racing deal. One driver coming down, one driver coming up. They just kind of met in the middle. And that does happen to be the case quite often here with these Cup cars. You know, Steve, talked about it a little bit last season with these next gen cars. The way that they handle out here on the dirt, obviously they're nothing compared to what you would expect if you drive a regular dirt car and then hop into one of these. They don't handle anything comparatively to a dirt car. Dirt cars, you know, short wheel range, doesn't take a whole lot of movement. These cars take a lot of movement to handle the car. Take a lot of lefts and rights to get the car right where you want it. But the reaction time for the Cup car on dirt versus a dirt car on dirt is incredibly different. It's a lot harder to react, a lot harder to make those sudden movements to avoid wrecks like that. So the 80 of TJ Hanley, can't really say I blame him on that one there. Just sliding right into it. You saw a little bit of a movement there trying to make correction, just really had nowhere to go.
Definitely. Acme will choose the outside for this restart. Mikey Neal Jr. wants to become part of the band. He's now moved up to that 3rd spot. $18 laps in the books. Stage break coming on lap number 50. You're watching the Dirt Cup, the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV at the Dirt Track at Bristol. Round number 5. 4 different winners so far, 4 different races. That's happened in all 3 series. But last night, who won last night, BJ?
Adam Lancaster.
And that he picked up what? He's the first 2-time winner this season in any series.
In any of them.
All right, Barty shows them the 1 to go signal. Nick Littert throws the lights off on the car. So the lights go dark on the track. We're fixing to go back to racing the racked and stacked. Here we come.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. Lap number 19 in the books on lap number 20. Acne goes to the bottom. Look at the 2. He's digging in deep as Selden Cheap coming out turn number 2. But here comes Scott Fritz into 1. Side by side for the 2nd spot as they head into turn number 3. Mikey Neal falling back a little bit. There's James Silvers in the 17 machine. Side by side for 2nd. Robbins racing as they head into turn number 1. On lap number 21, caution on the speedway. Travis 20, we got a parking lot on the back straightaway. TJ Hanley, he has some wheel damage there. That wheel's turned the opposite direction.
Well, they're so perfectly parallel with each other and perpendicular to the wall there. It really did look like we were on in a parking lot, like they just pulled into a parking space.
Synchronized swimming. There's the 29. Oh, Rocky Boy. Oh, that was 2 wrecks in 1.
I get a feeling a second behind was caused from a checkup. Drivers just starting to scramble, seeing all this happening up in front.
There it is, 3 wide.
And this is the back one. And even Blake Hensley's spinning out. right behind them. There's the 23 comes sliding into it.
Here's Justin Winters. Oh, he gets loose. Matt Grenier gets into him. He collects the 76. And heavy to walls TJ Hanley. He centers that barrel.
Travis Twitty, a lot of people involved in this one. The one thing to keep in mind here, when you get that front end damage, you need every bit of air getting to the radiator in these cars as possible when you're out here on the dirt track. Absolutely every bit of it. And I know from experience, and Keith Hackney had the same thing happen to him last season in the trucks. Blew his motor right there towards the end of the race. After racing his way back to the front from being involved in a wreck, blew his motor right before he got there. It is extremely common once you get that front end damage, it just starts packing full of the dirt off the track, and out goes the motor, down goes your race. So front end damage, like what we saw, what we can see heavy on drivers like Travis Twitty, TJ Hanley, you know, I believe it was TJ Hanley, several drivers with that heavy front end damage. That does not bode well for those drivers.
Next time by, Barney will show them the cross flags. That meaning halfway down, halfway to go. That's what they do in dirt track racing. They get the, I mean, they use several different colors. I mean, some use white and the checker. They make a cross, shows them halfway through the segment or the race. Some use the green and checker. Some use the green and white. I mean, they use it all. And one thing to watch out, that number 69 car having some connection problems. It's going to have to get that in check, because you definitely don't want that to go out while leading the race.
That is definitely not ideal. As everybody is letting Hackney know, making him aware of it so he can try to holler at Tasha and tell her to quit watching the Netflix and watch him race so that the connection will clear up.
Well, you know, Tasha, you know, she gives away those cells or gives away those cell phones and iPads. She probably has all those iPads hooked up to Wi-Fi. We're single file restart. We're back to racing. And they're doing this for a reason, because they're trying to get some laps in here, because all the cautions, and that's something we see in the dirt track side of things, when a caution comes out on a restart or something like that, they go single file. So they're trying to get some laps in here at Bristol, as we're just past halfway in the first segment. Lap number 50 will be segment number 1.
Yeah, they got some of the dirt guys over there assisting them with the calls, I think, deciding on that single file restart. Extremely rare to see, but some of these guys are going to be thankful to see it here. Some of them not so much, but we know one for sure, and that's going to be race control. Jason Collins is going to be happy to see some green flag laps being turned here. Keith Hackney, another person extremely happy to see that single file restart. Alex Huffman right there, just about half a second behind Keith Hackney. Scott Fritz hot on the heels of Alex Huffman, giving everything he could get. He's got to catch up. Contact for that third spot between Mike Neal Jr. and James Silvers.
Silvers and Neal are balanced side by side. That's for 5th and 6th on the board, or 4th and 5th on the board. There's GT Hawkins in that 6th spot. Jonathan Swartz in the 95, currently running at 7th. David Farber in 8th. There is Peyton Hubbard there, currently running in that 11th spot. Sean Kostritza in the 46. He's up 15 spots, currently running in 17th. Caution out on the racetrack.
Travis Twitty involved in this one. You saw it momentarily there as he sat on the inside of the track. Looks like he's going to get up there. Yep, got up there to that bank change took the grip off the left rear tire and the right rear just propelled him around. Does a good job to stay out of that pit road entrance wall. That could have been disastrous, but he's going to go ahead and tow it towards the pits anyways.
Keith Hackney, Huffman, Fritz, Neal, and Silver's your top 5 as we're on lap number 33-32 in the books here. As we're on, let's see here, the 4th caution of the night. I can see Barney throwing his hands in the air and just saying, why?
What do we do now?
So far out the race is Justin Winters, TJ Hanley, Rod Morris Jr., Travis Twitty. All out of the race. Mike Peters, Matt Grenier, Roger Pierce, and Jason Bruce all lap down. 25th on up on the lead lap. The 15 of Matt Grenier getting the lucky dog.
Now you got my dog looking at me, Steve.
Well, I was actually calling for Jason Collins. I need a hot dog. Listen, I better watch what I say.
I want a hot dog too, and I'm not gonna let you go any further.
Or a chili dog. Maybe that's what I want. A chili dog. It's my birthday. He should bring me something.
A chili dog. I'm sorry, we ain't no city slickers over here in West Virginia, IA. We call them hot dogs with sauce.
Right, I'm from the South, so, or the Mid-South. It reminded me one night, I was at my local track in Little Rock, and we were lined up. I mean, the line was long, and racing was going on. This lady was up to order. She wanted a hot dog, and she kept on saying she wanted a wiener, and the lady couldn't understand her taking her order because the sprint cars were out, and all we could hear is, "I want a wiener."
Oh, that is funny.
Everybody cracked up in that line.
The last time I was at a track, I actually apparently they've never had anybody ask for it, but I ordered a dozen hot dogs from the concession stand. Apparently nobody's ever ordered from the concession stand a dozen hot dogs at one time. You should have seen them scrambling. The whole line behind me, I had a line of people behind me waiting for concession. They all just scattered. They knew it was going to be a while. They all just disappeared.
Oh, how about that? How many people watching the Chili Bowl and Flow Racing? Don't forget this, the final night. It's going to be on MAV TV, presented to you by Flow, so you can watch it on Flow Racing. And how about like Ben Shelton and the gang down there in the desert with the super elite models? Jonathan Davenport looking really strong. That's all on Flow Racing.
Lots and lots of racing. If you want to see some dirt racing, Flow Racing is the place to go. 100% of the time it's a pace car. Makes that hard left-hand turn. Keith Hackney brings us back to the green. Single file restart once again. Look at the jump that allows Hackney. Huffman now under pressure from Scott Fritz. Fritz takes it all the way up to the top shelf, trying to get the speed, trying to get the momentum. Is not able to do it. He's now under attack from Mikey Neal Jr. as they head back down to turn number 3.
Mikey Neal's trying to dig it deep and sell it cheap as across the start finish line. Now you look at the grooves here, multi-groove track. See Mikey Neal run the bottom. You see the one of Fritz running the middle line there, and that's something that did in practice. They ran the bottom in, threw that moisture back on the top shelf, and you see the moisture's kind of stayed in on the top so far. That's also helped the drivers not to maybe wall ride or tap the wall as much.
Hell, I'm gonna be straight up honest. I think one of the biggest thing helping them to not wall ride in this one is how difficult it is to keep the car up on the top side without spinning out. As I know one thing, that's where I would definitely be, and I'm sitting here watching this race, and I'm just gritting my teeth thinking, man, I wish I was out there. So we're out on board right now with Mikey Neal Jr. He's going to take a look to the outside He went by that car so quick, I don't even know who that was, but now he's battling side by side with James Silvers.
James Silver's on the inside, and right ahead of him is Scott Fritz. There's Scott Fritz. Now look at the difference between Fritz and Neil. Neil is all turning crazy. Fritz is a little softer on there, but he's a dirt track driver.
Yeah, he knew what he was getting himself into when he came in, and I do believe that view actually just confirmed what I was suspecting. He was running in fourth gear, and judging by the RPMs, I don't think Fritz has been full throttle for several laps, judging by what I just saw in the RPMs there in that short bit. I think he's got something figured out. He's ready to rock and roll and move forward.
Well, in the driver's meeting, slower's faster here. You don't want to crack that egg on the dirt track. One thing that a lot of dirt track drivers have been told, like, stick an egg underneath that gas pedal and don't crack it.
Took me 3 years to figure that out here on iRacing, Steve. I'm not gonna lie, it took me 3 years.
And a lot of dozen of eggs cracked, huh?
Well, thankfully, you see, I was smart. I put a bowl right underneath my pedal, so once I crack the egg, goes straight in the bowl. I take it to the kitchen, I scramble it up, and eat it. Hey, kill two birds with one stone.
There you go. We got 4 laps remaining when they cross the start-finish line to the end of stage number 1. Keith Hackney is your race leader, well out front in heavy lap traffic. Looks to the inside of the 23. That is Jason Bridges. He clears him. Right ahead of him is the 27 of Roger Pierce. Pierce gets around the 13 of Brian Terry. Terry going the lap down. Heavy pressure. Here's some more lap traffic. Keith Hackney almost had the door shut on Hackney to the inside. Pierce kind of loose there. Oh, Nelly. Next time by will be 2 laps to go.
This is exactly what Alex Huffman and company behind want to see. They want to see Keith Hackney get stuck in lap traffic. They want to see him get slowed down as he continues to run side by side. Caution flag's going to wave again. I suspect, yes, it is. This is going to end the stage. We'll take a look here at the instant replay. 3 wide off of turn number 2 right there. Ooh, and Scott Fritz. Oh. I hate to say it, but I think that number 1 machine might be done.
Heavy. Hit heavy on that outside wall there.
See, 3 wide. Looks like there's a little bit of contact between Fritz and Grenier. That sends Grenier up into, I'm not even sure who that was, I believe. Yep, I have no idea, so I'm not going to make a guess at it.
23 of Jason Bridges.
And just like dominoes, Grenier into Bridges, Bridges back down into Fritz, and Fritz.
Look at that tire, completely sideways there.
Yeah, and this actually reminds me of something I was going to mention when I seen the tire lock up on, I believe it was Travis Twitty's car earlier. One thing we'd almost never see in NASCAR in the real world anymore, and something that iRacing did, I think, a great job in simulating on here is, you never see the tires come off the cars and go rolling anymore.
Definitely.
There's they've figured out how to outfit a cable to the inside of those wheels, so whenever they come loose, they don't go rolling and cause problems for other people. They stay right there with the car, and only one car has to be involved in it.
Brandon Roberts, now your race leader. I'm thinking about it after looking at Jeremy Vaughn. It says, no, sir, don't break the egg. That is correct. 20, let's see here. 25 years ago was when I bought my first dirt track car. Raced the hobby stock class at I-30 Speedway. I-30 Speedway broke me in, that's for sure. Got to race a couple of little bull rings in Arkansas. A lot of people, from Arkansas remember BB Speedway. I mean, it was smaller than I-30 Speedway. Got to race there some. Got to race. Ran at Riverside once. Ran at quite a few little tracks that's no longer in service in Arkansas no more. How about that?
Yeah, that's always unfortunate.
Definitely, Batesville Speedway in Arkansas runs on Friday nights this year. Since all the Saturday night tracks are basically closed, it's running on Saturday nights this year. Texarkana Speedway, it shut down a little bit last year, got sold. Tim Corrali, the sprint car veteran, a former ASCS national champion, is actually going to be the promoter of Texarkana Speedway at 67. Landon Corrali going to race some of the ASCS sprint car races this season, as he had his rookie season with ASCS sprint cars. You can catch Landon Corrali on iRacing surface. So lights are out. We're going back to single file restart here.
Green's out. Green flag. Green flag.
Green flag is out. We're back to racing.
And Brandon Robertson found himself up in the race lead after pit stops. Did not pit for that number 3. He's going to move his way up to the outside and let these guys go by in a hurry. Keith Hackney, Alex Huffman, Jonathan Swartz, Mike Neal Jr., James Silvers resumed the top 5 as Brandon Robertson falls all the way back into 8th, and caution flag will wave once again.
And we'll talk a little bit more about dirt tracks in Arkansas in just a second as the caution flag waves, and I really don't know who that's for. See Alex Healy coming down pit road.
Not gonna lie, I don't know either.
And actually, talk about short track nationals that ran at I-30 Speedway going to be ran at 67 in Texarkana in October this year. But yes, Thunder Valley Speedway was actually where I bought my car at. So, yeah, Thunder Valley actually broke my teeth in and got to hot lap my car there before I centered the outside wall in front of the flag stand. But, that was my first couple laps ever getting in the race car.
I'm jealous. But update on the caution though. The 30 of Ryan Patty got loose in front of, I believe it was Alex Healy. It just kind of got T-boned right there in the middle of the turn. Ryan Patty took a pit sign. I don't know for sure if Ryan Patty stayed out on track now. Yes, Ryan Patty is out on track, so is Alex Healy back out on track.
And
yeah, I'm slightly jealous that you were.
And during that
you got
time,
to get on track.
Tim Crawley drove for Bobby Sparks in the 91 sprint car, and Roddy Howard did my graphics for me. So, I mean, that's a long time ago. You really start thinking about putting the years down. I was fortunate to kind of move up from the hobby stocks. Got me a late model. Got to race that some. Got to race the UMP or the modifieds, IMCA classes. Even had a sprint car. Had some good times with that. But racing ain't cheap, that's for sure.
No, it is definitely not. Otherwise, I'd be in one. I wouldn't have to sit here and say I'm jealous. I'd be like, I did that too. Here's the kicker, though. I've got 2 race motors sitting in my garage that I'm rebuilding, and I'm barely touched them. Not gonna lie, I've barely touched them because it's even expensive to rebuild those, let alone get the car to put them in.
Right. And I've even raced at Sheridan Speedway, and a long time ago, about 25 years ago, there was a track in Sheridan called Sheridan Speedway. It closed right about 24 years ago.
Steve, you're old.
I am. We all would be in it, that's for sure. I still got actually cars here, the chassis from back in the day for the modified and the late model.
That you said you're gonna ship to me?
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
FedEx.
FedEx, all right. Hey, I'd figure out some way to make it happen. It looks like the lights are out looking for another single file restart. Race control still not happy, wanting to get some more laps in, as we're about 2.5 laps from the halfway point of this race. Ouch, and I just got bit by a dog.
Next caution, I'll tell you my favorite wreck. How about that?
All right.
Dustin, I'm going to overnight it to you. Hell yeah!
Sweet.
Green.
Green flag is back out. We're back to racing here at the dirt track at Bristol, the Bluegrass Cup Series. Get to turn number 1. Hackney goes to the bottom. There's Huffman. Everybody actually going to the bottom in turn number 1. There's GT Hawkins in that 14. There's the 17 looking to the inside of Huffman. Huffman got a little loose there going to turn number 3. Coming out turn number 4, we complete lap number 61 on lap number 62. A little further back in the pack, you see the 48 Mo Abbott and the 28 of Josh Clemens. We haven't heard much about Josh Clemens tonight. He's been keeping it clean. So has Nick Mills in at 88. Another caution on the speedway.
Mikey Neal Jr. sitting backwards, not sideways, backwards on the back straightaway. Number 8 machine gets involved in yet another one. We'll take a look here at our NLRA instant replay. See him going into the turn. A little bit higher than most everybody else out there. Looks like he starts to come back down. James Silvers, unfortunately, is already there right across the nose and parks it there on the inside, waiting for everybody to go by. And yeah, that outside line, the bigger the cushion gets, the more and more tricky it gets for these cars to run up there. And you could tell a massive difference. Last Monday, the truck stuck it up on the top side quite often, and that was where the majority of the racing ended up, was up against the wall, where the speed was and everything. And then these drivers here, a lot of them, just the majority of them, just flat out avoiding it, including dirt veterans like Keith Hackney, Scott Fritz. I'm pretty sure I've seen Rocky Boyd around, but everybody just sticking down towards the bottom side of the track more often than not here tonight.
Definitely. So I told you I'll tell you about my favorite wreck. Well, you know, in Little Rock and I-30 Speedway 25 years ago, we used to race for 225 to win. And there was 50 of us suckers going out there. Instead of Tracy sending 26 of us home, she split them up into 2 futures. My future was the second future. The pole sitter started with a flat tire. It goes into turn number 1, stops on the track dead sideways, collects everybody in it, all of us in it. The person that started 25th won the race by default.
Oh, man. Wow. I've never been involved in a wreck, because I've never gotten to race IRL. But I got to say, my favorite wreck that I've ever seen, we got a local track here called Elkins Raceway. And there's no walls. It's a lot like Lernerville. If anybody knows Lernerville via IRL or iRacing, either one, it's almost identical to Lernerville. Off of turn number 3, we had the 4 cylinders out there, as we like to call them over at World of Thunder, our bang bangers. One of them went right up and over the hood of one of the other cars as he went to turn down in, which sent him rolling and flying. I mean, he probably flipped 5 or 6 times off of turn number 3. Before the rescue vehicles could make it even halfway down the front straightaway, that car came flying back up and over the berm, back up onto the track on 3 wheels, and came flying back around and tried to line back up on 3 wheels.
Wow. Well, and I remember Tim Crowley, he started pole on a big IMC modified race. He raced a dwarf car, slung it off of turns 1 and 2, probably went around about 15 to 20 feet in the air, got a concussion, and that race was like $15,000 to win for IMCA Modifieds. Actually, it was a USMTS race, and he went to the hospital, the pole sitter, so he didn't get to start the future.
Oof. Ouch.
Well, lights are out, I believe, and we're fixing to go back to racing. Green flag is up. Keith Hackney, Alex Upman, and Jonathan Swartz, your top three. Keith Hackney goes to the bottom, but he's going to dig in deep and try to sell cheap coming out turn number 2 as he leads Huffman out turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Swartz has made his way up to that third spot, up 7 spots at the start of the race. GT Hawkins currently running fourth. James Silvers has a top 5. Talk about Brandon Robertson in that number 3 machine. He's up 10 spots. And look at Tony Iverson. Haven't talked much about him. He's in that 8th spot.
And, you know, since you're talking about drivers that are making big moves, look back just outside the top 10 in 12th, 13th, and 14th. You got Brandon Holder in the 9, up 16 spots in 12th. Sean Kostritza in the 46, up 19 spots in 13th. Well, yeah, and in 13th, and Mo Abbott in the 48, up 17 spots in 14th. So some big movers trying to work their way through the field and make their way into the top 10. But meanwhile, up to the front, Keith Hackney, Alex Upman. Those two drivers have not changed throughout pretty much this entire race. Keith Hackney led since the drop of the race, all except for the first lap back from the stage break. Alex Huffman's been right there on his heels. We look on board now with the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. involved with caution just moments ago. Rides right now in 18th, trying to find his way back forward. He's had quite a bit of contact throughout this race, and he is sawing at that wheel, trying to get going. His caution flag waves once again. Big wreck on the back straightaway, hearing from race control.
Chuck Blake involved. Travis Twitty there. Oh, Chuck Blake. Travis Twitty. There's the 80 of Hanley. As the... Oh, Billy.
Things getting a little dicey between Twitty and another driver, making contact, sending Twitty squirrely and collecting yet another driver.
You know, Jeremy Vaughn says, you know, USRA is the real modified racing. You know, back in the day, though, Jeremy, you only really had IMCA unless you raced UMPs. And, you know, the USMTS used to be USMS, United States Modified Series, where Todd bought it out that series. So, I mean, back in the day, you only had around about 2 unless you
I know
a track that wasn't sanctioned, you know.
Yeah, I know over on the East Coast we had AMRA, which I'm not for certain, but I think they got bought out by UMP because all of our tracks over here went to UMP. So. I don't know. I'm a UMP guy, especially since they added the back wing back to the car.
The spoiler?
Oh, yeah. Now, it's not like it used to be. I remember being a kid watching the UMP Modifieds and having almost a late model spoiler on the back of them cars. And the fins, a lot of times on the side of the spoilers, would come all the way down past the sides of the roof.
Yeah.
Whatever them things are called. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's just a little curl. Just a little curl in the back, almost like the big block Modifieds.
You know, and now this year, the Cop Cam Super Dirt Late Ball Series, you know, is venturing off to more tracks outside of Arkansas area, becoming the dirt car sanctioned for the drivers so they can be eligible for more awards at the end of the year. But back in the day, BJ, we would see when the Have a Tampa Super Late Balls were around and they got rained out, the Super Series was in the Mid-South. And for 2,000 to win, we would have almost 70 to 80 Super Late Balls in the Mid-South. But that was back in the day when Mike Bowers was racing, Billy Moyer Jr., I mean, several different drivers. Back in the day, the Mid-South area ranked the super late model action in the national series, like the Hava Tampa super late models. They toured around.
Yeah. I've always been a little bit jealous of that too. I'm not gonna lie. I know around here when I was younger and it was a little bit cheaper, at least to race, we used to have a lot more late models. The house used to always be packed with super late models and crate late models. Which when I was a kid, it was super late models and semi late models, which basically are steel block late models, and then there would be a few modifieds, which was AMRA back then. But now we've all switched over to UMP. Class has grown massively, and our late model fields have shrunk.
Definitely. All righty, we're fixing to go back to racing.
Green's out.
Green flag is out. Keith Hackney
Yellow
brings the
flag is
field
out.
down. Caution, back out on the racetrack.
Yeah. Some drivers not staying in line right there, not staying nose to tail, not really sure what they were doing. I did witness one of them, but I am not going to mention them because I'm not entirely sure what they were doing, but it looked like just right as the green flag was about to come out, they started warming their tires. So I'm just kind of scratching my head at that one there.
Well, they're going to stop on the track, wait for the pace car to pick them back up. There it is, Nicky Leonard getting the pace truck around Keith Hackney. So not, still a lot of racing going on, but we are on our 9th caution of the night here at Bristol.
8th.
Oh, 8th, yeah, that's true. Well, no, it's 9th because the...
Oh, yeah.
It was a caution that brought out their stage break.
It absolutely was.
45 laps to go here at Bristol. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV.
And laps continue to wind down under caution. The pace car has led the most laps here tonight. And of course, followed by Keith Hackney.
Yeah. Well. As we're still under caution here at the dirt track at Bristol. They've been doing single file restarts trying to get the racing going, and 9 times out of 10 when you go single file, as long as you're nose to tail, it works out pretty well. Lights are off of the pace car. We're going to go back to green flag racing, lap number 83.
Green flag.
And then the Geico restarts up. Green flag is back. We're racing here at Bristol. On lap number 83, you see him going to the bottom, looking a little further back at these drivers. There's Peyton Hubbard currently running in 11th spot. Brandon Holder in 9th, battling with the 5 of Brandon Robertson. Robertson to the inside of David Farmer. Side by side, Farmer with the run on the outside. He'll take over that 7th spot. Meanwhile, the 69K continues to lead. Alex Huffman still right there in striking distance. There's Jonathan Swartz in the top 3.
Yellow,
We got caution on the racetrack.
And I'm not entirely sure who that is rolling backwards up against the wall there. 88 of Nick Mills. Oh, and starts Mo Abbott, it looks like, up in the front. Nick Mills loses it as well. Got Fritz involved. 27. Roger Pierce involved. Still not sure who it was that was just rolling backwards up the top of the track. And that was... I just missed it there. There we go. Still can't tell who that is. Top 5 remains Keith Hackney, Alex Huffman, Jonathan Swartz, GT Hawkins, and James Silvers. On down through, it is going to be Tony Iverson, David Farmer, Brandon Robertson, Brandon Holder, John Kinder, your top 10, Peyton Hubbard, Sean Kostritza, Ryan Patty, Dustin Ronstedt, Brian Terry, your top 15, Mikey Neal, Curtis Preston, Matt Grenier, Josh Clemens, Mo Abbott, your top 20. And out of 87 laps, Steve, 87 laps, these guys have only turned 36 green flag laps.
Yep, and there goes the ticker. Now it's going to work.
Woo! We're back. So welcome, folks, to iPacing. Here is Bluegrass Iracing Series on Ultimate Dirt TV.
Oh, you're welcome. It just freezes sometimes up there. They had an update earlier the week too, along with everything else, it seems like. And sometimes it sticks because it's considered, even though it's a cup track, iRacing does it. It's considered a dirt track, and the NASCAR ticker doesn't always cooperate on dirt track. But we're back to green flag racing. Keith Hackney, your race leader. There's Alex Huffman in second. There you got GT Hawkins battling with Jonathan Swartz. GT Hawkins to the inside there. Swartz on the outside as they come out turn. They're side by side. The momentum's going to be on Swartz's hand as they cross the start-finish line.
Swartz has that third spot for a moment. We got a car slow on the inside. He's trying not to stop and bring out a caution, but he wants to take it pit side. Oh, looking a little further back. The 9, Brandon Holder, just got a huge run off the corner. Picked up a 2-for-1 deals. Those two behind him continue to battle it out. That's 5 of John Kinder and 3 Brandon Robertson.
That allows within 2 battling, but allows Peyton Hubbard to move up that 9th spot there. And you know, on dirt track, normally the high side, you has the momentum when they come off the turns, and normally at the start finish line or midway, they will get around the car on the inside of them. Even though the inside is the preferred line, that, you know, the cars wind up a little bit more on the outside. But Keith Hackney continues to lead in the 69. There's Alex Huffman into 2, Jonathan Swartz, your top 3. A little further back, you see Ryan Patty there in the 30 machine, currently running at 14th. There's Sean Kostritza in 13th, battling with Mikey Neal Jr. 3 wide there. Oh, Kostritza saves it.
I think he might have got a little scare there from Mikey Neal Jr. Mikey Neal on the hunt, ready to take off, and he is absolutely flying through this field right now. He's back up inside the battling for the top 10 to the outside of Peyton Hubbard. He split the difference just a moment ago, went right through the middle. Now he takes the outside. Mikey Neal Jr., I think, is a man to watch at the moment. Question is he going to have enough laps to do it, and can he keep that car under control and avoid everybody else? Takes over that 10th spot, now looking for more as he takes a peek at the number 5. Side by side down into the turn. Kinder now to the outside. Mikey Neal Jr. to the inside. He's been running the middle high side, the inside, not where he seems to be comfortable or quick right now. Now he's going to move back up, but Peyton Hubbard's right back up to his back bumper. Hubbard a little loose and under pressure, and caution flag is going to wave once again.
Mike Peters, as one win on the season, brings out this caution in the 96, goes into the turn there. He just kind of loses it in turns 1 and 2. Oh, centers the barrels. Thank you for tuning in to Ultimate Dirt TV. Don't forget, this Sunday night, live on Ultimate Dirt TV and OSRN Network, the largest dirt series or league on iRacing comes back to life for season number 20, year number 6, with the super late balls and pro late models all Sunday night. Dirt track action. Don't want to miss it. The stars of the late ball series will take center stage. And all that action starts at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Sunday night. The super late balls will be battling for a $1,500 championship, paying out the top 15 in the points, and also the 5th annual Speed Weeks going on in February. And the 5th annual Michael Rose Memorial will close out the season in the Wotel Esports League. That's live this Sunday night, live on Ultimate Dirt TV and the OSRN Network.
Race controller going to speed things up, finding out if anybody needs to hit pit road. Not hearing any responses, so they're going to be shortening it down, it sounds like.
The largest dirt league on iRacing with over 1,800 members. That means they currently hold a iRacing license. Lights go out. We're going to go back to racing out of turn number 4. Keith Hackney, Alex Upman, Jonathan Swartz, top 3. GT Hawkins, James Silvers round out their top 5. We're back to green flag racing. Keith Hackney brings the field to the bottom in turns 1 and 2 there. In turn number 1 as they come out of turn number 2 down the bank straightaway.
Yellow flag is out.
Caution out on the racetrack. Not too sure who that was for. The 12th caution of the night. Well, you know what? It's not a record. For sure.
No, not quite. Not quite. 13 gets into the 31. It sounds like bringing out the caution. It actually didn't trigger anything on my end either.
I come in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
All right, got to wonder if they're going to cut the laps and let them go back to racing with 23 to go right now. We're inside a heat race distance. I'm sure Alex Huffman would like to race this out so that way he can have a fighting chance to try to get around Keith Hackney. But with these cautions, even on bringing them back, you know, that's dirt track racing is a little bit different. Got to get momentum built up and get a rhythm. And cautions just break the rhythm, that's for sure.
Yep. And if you're a driver like me, you need rhythm. You need green flag runs.
Definitely. Even in real life, I'm a better driver following behind somebody to the latter stages of the race. You know, this gets my rhythm going. Breaking points and everything like that. It seemed like if I ever started on the pole in dirt track, I always had a problem staying out front. I never had my breaking points down or the rhythm going. If I ever started behind somebody, I was good as gold. As we're fixing to go back to green flag racing here with 21 laps to go. Keith Hackney, your race leader. Green flag is back out, so they pass the Geico restart zone. As they head into turn number 1, Hackney brings them to the bottom. Alex Huffman right there in second in the 2 machine. Slides up to the middle of the track there. Alpha turn number 2 down the back straightaway into turn number 3, your top 2. Hackney and Huffman. There's Swartz in that 3rd spot. He's driving high, wide, and handsome there.
17 of James Silvers takes a look at the inside of GT Hawkins, gets position, and caution flag waves again. 20 laps to go. Lap number 106.
Brandon Robinson bringing out that caution into number 3. As we look at your NLRA instant replay, goes into the turn there.
Sean Kostritza claims it. See right there, he gets loose, comes right down across him.
There you go.
Cautions, breed cautions. See, you gotta shush yours. I gotta keep mine from biting me. She gets bored and keeps. Yeah. Oh, great. See, mine gets bored and comes and sits here and stares at me, wanting me to play with her. And if I don't play with her, she grabs a hold of me, and sometimes she gets a little. She underestimates her strength a little bit. She's a monster.
That's right. Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, she's not trying to climb in my lap. She knows I'm talking about her. I don't think 100-pound dogs are supposed to be lap dogs. She ain't done growing yet. Blake Hensley getting a lap back.
I must say, though, you know, looking at the 2 of Alex Up, and that's probably one of the nicest looking cars out there on the racing surface. Really like that green and that design on that car. Really pops.
I have to agree. I do really like that car.
Alrighty. Should be going green out of turn number 4. With 16 laps to go here. Yeah, the Geico restart zone. Keith Hackney fires. We're back to racing. Alex up, and there's Jonathan Swartz. Lucas Silvers goes to the top shelf in turn number 1 there. He's going to try to get a run off of turn number 2, get a run on to 96. As you see, as he does, he goes to the inside momentarily, thought better of it. GT Hawkins made a little mistake, lost a little ground to the 17 of James Silvers. Now, look, and David Farmer looks to his inside. Ain't making it happen either. So right now, these drivers are pretty much locked in. There's Tony Iverson in 72, now looking to the inside of Brandon Holder. Oh, he still slaps the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. Mikey Neal Jr. now back up to the 8th position on the high side. He's ripping that lip, getting the runs off the turn as he currently sits in that 8th position. Iverson now back to 9th. John Kinder rounds out your top 10. Meanwhile, Keith Hackney, he's going to have some company because here comes Alex Huffman in the 2 machine. Alex Huffman's run by a car length behind him. And this is going to be, if it stays green, this will be what you want to watch right here. Oh, Huffman makes a little mistake off turn number 2. Loses some ground to Keith Hackney.
Yeah, I've been had him down within 0.3 of a second. Now it's just over half a second. But really and truly, I think the man to beat, if he can get there, is going to be the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. He is absolutely flying right now, just working him off one car at a time, trying to make his way forward in that number 8 machine. He's got the speed. If he could just get to the front, he has got something figured out in that number 8 machine. I do believe he is the fastest car on the track if he can just get a little bit of luck on his side and move forward. 11 laps to go here in a race. Laps now starting to wind down really quickly for Keith Hackney. He has grown that lead to nearly a second between him and Alex Huffman.
Alex Huffman in the 2 with 10 laps to go. He's going to make a move. He needs to get up there close because, if there's a caution, we go to green, white, checkered, it's really going to hurt that second place driver on the restarts because Keith Hackney's going to restart on the preferred line. Right now, Hackney right there on the bottom as they come out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. 9 laps to go for Keith Hackney. There's Alex Huffman in second. Jonathan Swartz in third. And you look at Swartz running a totally different line between Hackney and Huffman. And there is James Silvers in the 17 machine. Doing a good job running in that 4th position. GT Hawkins running the middle groove there in the 14 machine. David Farmer under attack from Brandon Holder there. Mikey Neal Jr. right behind him.
And as laps continue to wind down the front, drivers starting to spread out a little more each and every lap. Hackney, Huffman, Schwartz, Silvers, Hawkins, your current top 5, and the way it sits right now, it really looks like it's going to stay that way, and we'll have our second 2-time winner of the season across the board for the entire league.
Well, you're Mikey or Alex Huffman, there's the caution. Caution out on the racetrack looks like it's for Brandon Robertson. Well, I might have lied. It's not. It's for Ryan Patty.
Yeah. This will lead us to a green, white checkers. We take a look at the instant replay here. Ryan Patty, when he gets to that bank change from the apron to the regular track, just catches him and gets him loose. And that will be the end of Ryan Patty's night, as that was his second caution at fault of the night. So he has been requested to take his car pit side, loaded up, and return next week.
When Huffman was doing good, Rabbi Carlick behind Keith Hackney, I said he didn't want a caution. But, when he fell back, now I'm quite sure he wanted that caution, so that way he can close up the gap. So what he's going to need now on this restart is a good start. You don't want to be caught sleeping on that start.
And that is something extremely difficult in single file restarts. Double file, you at least have the liberty to look over at the lead car and kind of see a little bit, on the dirt side especially, you can see the leader crank the wheel to turn down the track on restarts. And that is kind of a good tell as to when it's safe to take off and try to stick right with them. But single file restart's a little harder to do that. You can't quite see the driver near as much.
Definitely. Last call for alcohol. Some people probably been drinking a lot tonight after seeing these wrecks. Some of y'all, if y'all took a shot after every wreck, might be kind of plastered.
Yeah, you're toast. You are toast.
I mean, I know.
We should do that one night, Steve.
No.
We should have a UDTV rated R night.
Jason Collins probably plastered right now if that was the case of taking a shot after every caution.
I wasn't saying on one of these. I'm saying we just throw something together, no admins, and we just open up a bottle.
Back to racing, 2 laps to go. Keith Hackney, Alex up, but if he's going to make something happen, he's going to have to make it happen now as he keeps it glued to the bottom as they come out turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, he's losing ground to Keith Hackney in that 69 machine. Hackney goes a little wide off of exit turn number 4. Huffman closes, white flag, final lap, 1 to go.
And things getting a little antsy, a little bit further back between the 9, the 84, and the 8. As those three fight for position, the 8's going to end up losing that battle, but back up in front, Steve. You got it off turn 4.
Out turn number 4, picking up a second win of the season. Keith Hackney picks up the win. Alex Huffman in second. Jonathan Schwartz in third. James Silvers, GT Hawkins rounds out your top 5. Mikey Neal Jr. spinning out at the start finish line. He'll come home in the 8th position. As we take a look at your official results on the board, Keith Hackney picking up a second win of the season. Alex Huffman in second. Jonathan Schwartz comes home third. Fourth will be James Silvers. Fifth, GT Hawkins. Sixth will be David Farmer. Seventh will be Brandon Holder. Eighth, Mikey Neal Jr. Ninth will be Peyton Hubbard. Roger Pierce will bring it home in 10th. John Kinder in 11th. Mo Abbott in 12th. Tony Iverson in 13th. Nick Mills in 14th. Matt Grenier in 15th. 16th be Josh Clements.
17th is going to be Dustin Reinsettle. Sean Kostritza, 18th. Brian Terry in 19th, and rounding out top 20 is going to be Brandon Robertson. It's going to be Blake Hensley, Ryan Patty, Travis Twitty, Curtis Preston, Scott Fritz, your top 25. DJ Hanley, Mike Peters, Chuck Blake, Alex Healy, Jason Bridges, your top 30. Ron Morris Jr., Rocky Boyd, and Justin Winters, rounding out your 33 starters here tonight.
We'll be right back after these commercials with post-race interviews. Welcome back to Ultimate Dirt TV. Keith Hackney picking up his second win of the season. BJ's caught up with the third place finisher tonight of Jonathan Schwartz.
That's right. I've caught up with the driver piloting the number 95.
Hey guys.
What a race you had. You find yourself falling backwards. You find yourself back up to the front. It's kind of a yo-yo throughout the night, caution-filled race. Tell us a little bit about it from your perspective.
Oh man, you couldn't say it any better. I mean, I know that there was a lot of cautions, and that would have seemed like it would have given me a bit more confidence just to maintain position, but every single restart, man, those guys behind me had so much speed. I really struggled out at 2. I could dive it deep into 1, but then they always got me back at 2, and I was always having a guy right up my bumper out of the exit at 2, and I just had to do a lot of defense there. So yeah, definitely a lot of work. I mean, I felt like I had so much confidence in the heat, like running second and third, and then I got involved in that wreck, which put me far back, and then I ended up starting 10th in the race. Really would have liked to start a bit more further up ahead, but I don't think I had anything for those top 2. I mean, Huffman and Hackney, those guys are just in another league. I mean, I was just waiting for some lap traffic to affect them. Unfortunately, we never really got those runs, but I was literally on the verge of not even doing this race. I am just so bad at dirt, and I didn't think I had a chance. So the fact that I didn't wreck out, the fact I didn't wreck out, and the fact I'm on the podium, I am just, my mind is blown. So yeah, this is just, I'm amazed.
Well, you definitely sound excited and happy about it. Well, go ahead and thank your sponsor. Shout outs to everybody help make it possible for you to get there.
I just want to thank Syndicate Racing and all my teammates, especially Huffman, for putting together this paint scheme on iRacing. Really excited also with High Pre. We're preparing for our Daytona 24 pretty soon in like a week and a half or so. So definitely want to give a shout out to those guys. But yeah, really got to enjoy these podiums when you can have them, since you really don't know when the next one's going to be. So yeah, really just soaking it all in. And yeah, just thank you guys for the broadcast.
Absolutely. That was Jonathan Schwartz coming home in third. Congratulations. Steve?
All right, coming home in second place tonight, Alex Huffman. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Yay, 3 for second. I don't like it.
Well, you know, you kind of like dropped the ball going into turn one every time on the restart there.
Easy.
You need to be on the bumper.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Hackney's going to get a good start on me every time leading it. So I was in trouble on every restart then, but I was trying to get it back at one. I'd slide up just barely too much, lose ground, and had to try to regain it. That last restart, though, I stayed on his bumper, and then the second lap the white flag lap, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to get to his bumper in 3, give him a little shot, try to get him upset, but I barely overstepped the bounds at 1 and 2 again, and it just went. So I just said, all right, hell with it. Turn 3, going to the top and hope he over rotates.
Well, you know, Mikey Neal was ripping the lip while all of y'all was on the bottom. And he made quite a few passes. Did you think maybe going to the top side, getting that momentum off the turns, maybe you could have made that pass on him, or really didn't have the time for the restarts?
I don't think there's enough time for the restarts because you still got to build up momentum. But I don't think the restarts I would have had enough time, because if I went to the top in 1 and 2 on that last restart, Schwartz probably would have got to my inside and hurt my momentum, and he probably could have threw a slider on me if I went to the top again in 3 and 4, and that would have cost me more time. But on a long run, I think the top was pretty decent. I found some speed up there, but them short runs, how everybody's on the bottom on restarts, all the marbles and dirt were getting freshly thrown up there. So it's like as soon as you go up there, you need a few laps for it to clean off, or else you're just going to be breaking way too loose, and it's just not really a cushion to lean on because all the marbles that are put up there, and you got to rework that cushion in. But I don't know. It was fun. I told Hackney I was going to give him a run for his money. I stayed pretty much with him all race. I made a few mistakes, let him get away, but at least I was right on him the whole race pretty much.
Definitely. Go ahead and thank those fine sponsors making it all possible for you.
Of course, got to thank y'all at UDTV for putting on the broadcast, Jason and Bluegrass. Deb at Old School Diecast, all my teammates over at Syndicate, of course, the guys over at Elite too, Justin and John. Kinder Performance Group, he's on the car too, can't forget about him. MR Squared Roofing, and anybody that supports me during all this shenanigans.
All right, that's Alex Huffman coming home in second place tonight. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
BJ's caught up with the race winner.
It's gone up off. That's right. I've gone up with the man of the hour, Keith Hackney. Man, you almost had it Monday night in the trucks. You come back for redemption. You get it, and you become the first 2-time winner of this series, of the Cup Series this season.
Yeah, man. There again, I was glad I hit on this other night. Like, I was really fortunate for the 2-week break that we had, and just to, get out of my head, clear my head, start to have fun on here again. It's just got, I don't know if it's the right terms, but like too, I guess, political per se. I got so much stuff going on, with setup building and every other thing aspect I have on here. And I just got to where I wasn't having fun, and I was in my own head, like leading up to, these races. And obviously, dirt, that's my strong suit. And I knew I was gonna be strong. The heat race, I almost lost it on one of those restarts, and I don't know how I didn't, to be honest with you. I went down in there, and I knew Scott was on my outside, and I didn't want to push up, so I just threw it in there a little bit sooner, and I hit the apron and just got completely sideways. And I was content. I was going to ride right there, and we got that caution late in the heat, and I got a good start, and Scott left the bottom open, and I was like, well, it's now or never, so we're going to throw it. And, it seemed to work out in our favor, and I bet he was probably kicking himself in the butt for that. But, that me and Scott's racing up on dirt, we know what to expect from each other and whatnot. But as far as the feature, dude, I absolutely hated every single caution about every other lap. Like, I want to race. I want to see what I could do. But at the closer at the end of the race, those caution actually helped me because I was stretching my fuel. I was obviously running a lot harder than my teammates back in the field, so I was about a gallon short or a gallon less than what they was. So I really couldn't pull Huffy at all. Maybe there was a few times I pulled him a little bit, and Which I can't complain. I'm proud of him too. We've been talking a little bit lately, and he's been running a lot more dirt stuff, with being on a lead or whatever. So I know he's been practicing and turning a lot of laps on dirt. So I'm not disappointed that I didn't pull away from everybody more than what I did. But at the same time, man, I'm just proud of those guys. Him, and John, and a couple of my teammates right there in the top 5 as well. So it's good to be back in the winner circle here. I needed this for my momentum's sake. And just like last season, we went cold for a little bit, then we got hot. So hopefully this is the start of that hot streak, and maybe we'll go rack off a couple wins here in the next couple weeks, and just see what we can do for the playoffs.
Congratulations again on your race win. Go ahead and thank your sponsors. Shout outs. Everybody helps to make it possible.
Yeah, man. Over here, first and foremost, NLR, Next Level Racing, all my guys puts in work day in, day out. Blue Performance Industries, Cornerstone, Motorsports. They took a chance on me. Just coming over here and running with these guys. W Energy, Function Junction, Mountain View Detailing, Aerial Professionals, WNC, NH Lens, Custom Cabinets by Keith, and most certainly one that I just can't forget is that Grip Hackney. You can get that thing at raceepi.com. Shout out to y'all for all y'all do, with these awesome broadcasts. Jason for putting this on, and I gotta give a shout out to Tasha. He's sitting here in the room watching.
All righty. Congratulations again on your race win. That is Keith Hackney. Steve?
All righty, that's going to conclude our broadcast tonight with the Bluegrass Cup Series. Don't forget, we'll be back next Monday night, same time. Different place, that's for sure. But until then, don't forget this Sunday night, the most powerful league on iRacing on the dirt side of things comes to life on the OSRN Network and Ultimate Dirt TV. All the action starts live at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. The stars of the cars of the Super Late models. You don't want to miss it. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Steve McMillan along with BJ Duvall. We're going to say good night and God bless. Stay safe, guys.